Good morning, everyone. I am making a video to help you work with your dogs at home who have just started on odor. We sent you home last week with a couple of things, and then last month. The last class we sent you home with a few things. A jar full of Q-tips and a tin. So this is the tin you probably have. It's not rusty, it doesn't have writing on it, and it likely doesn't have Q-tips inside. But that's exactly what it can look like. You put your 3 to 4 swabs in there, and you are ready to go. You'll notice this one also has an earth magnet in it. That is what we use to magnetize them to different surfaces. You don't have to use an earth magnet. You can use any kind of magnet that'll fit inside the tin rather than on the outside. You'll notice this has no hole in it, and in general that is fine. We do recommend you're going to use at least 3 to 4 swabs inside here. We do have holes in many of our other tins that we use. So if you have the ability to drill holes, feel free. Otherwise, they don't need it, or just leave it, just vent it a little bit will work dandy. The other most common item we use for Q-tips and swabs, scented swabs, are this it's a black electrician's shrink tape. And the swabs these are black swabs, sit right, that one must be stuck inside somehow, because they are wedged in there, because there's actually 3, and this is where I use forceps or tweezers to get them out. There's one facing this way, one facing this way, and then I got another one just jammed in there, which is why they're a little hard to get out. You might also notice that this particular guy has some old glue dots on it. Those are the most common things we use to hold our Q-tips, to contain them so they do not get contaminated by dog slobber or food or things like that, and also so that they don't contaminate the environment when you are hiding them. Well, the problem is you may be at home now and you don't have access to all those things, so I wanted to give you some alternatives as to what you could do. So first of all, let me unload my Amazon box of goodness. This is likely what you have been doing at home, at least what we hope you have been doing at home, where you set that flap down, and that way the Q-tip is protected and the food goes in here, but the odor is actually under the flap taped to the side of the box. This is one of the few times we actually will have the Q-tips this way. This box is forever and ever contaminated. So if you want to, you can just do your boxes with your odor and your food in other places. You can take it out to your porch, take it out to your deck, garage, a pad, in the garage, other rooms of your house. Maybe not necessarily on the grass right away, but you could just take boxes out to the grass or your yard area. If you want to start working out of boxes, well, you only probably have the one tin, so let's give you some other ideas on what you can put odor in to keep the swabs from getting contaminated and from contaminating things. First off, my longtime favorite, good old straws, okay? So you can just cut your straw. You can easily fit 3 swabs in here. Sometimes I break off the cardboard end of the swab to make them a little shorter, but you can fit 3 swabs in there. This would allow you to then go to maybe a different type of container, such as this is just a regular little Tupperware container, and I could tape it like to the side with good old Scotch tape so my dog won't eat it. What we might do if we had the old black tube, not old black tube, the current black tube we use a lot, is just tape it to the side, okay? Or glue dot it to the side. You do want it to be attached. Don't put it in the bottom, because what could happen is with the treats in there, your dog could accidentally scarf it up. Wouldn't be a big deal if they ate it, just wouldn't be that much fun. So that would be a way for you to do a hide in the environment out of the boxes. Then the other thing, and this is something we really didn't get to show you, let me get rid of my extra swabs I have there, none of those have odor on them, is this is a really cool little idea for pairing and not getting your swabs contaminated and the odor being right there with the food. This is just a yogurt container. It's the kind that has the little crunchy things on top. This is really good if you haven't had it. Cleaned it out really well. My scented swabs in the bottom, again, 3, 4, 5 And then I have very carefully put holes in it with a screwdriver, so that's why they're so nice. You do want to make sure they're good enough. I realized a good way to look at it is your swab is, if your swab can kind of get in there, that's probably a big enough hole. You notice I have one hole here that kind of went a little bad. Anyway, this is your treat tray, and it can sit right on top of your odor tray. This is sort of snug, so it's not too bad, but you could just take a piece of Scotch tape on each side, and that way you know it won't get, the swabs won't get loose because your dog might turn it over. See, look at that. So you got odor on the bottom, treats on the top. They can self-reward. You can hide that a little easier in the environment, or not even hide it, just let them find it. Other great odor containers that Rochelle and I have used over the years, boy, we've used a lot. I went through and I try to be really good and throw out pens that don't work. Look at that. You can put swabs in there. You could attach it to things using that. Now this is pretty loose and your swabs might come out, so you need to keep it upright. But you could definitely, this again keeps it from the odor from contaminating the environment and vice versa. If this was just sitting somewhere, you'd want your treats right next to it. Another kind of pen lid. The other option too would be to take a pen like this and literally just take it apart, take out all the insides, and use the insides to hold your swabs. And then, last but not least, just off the top of my head, what I had around the house this morning. Actually, cracked me up. I started to make this video, and then I went to get one of these, and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about this lovely little guy that comes in here. See, it's just this great little plastic holder. It's not tight at all. I suppose you could put a hole in it just in case, but I expect that odor could easily escape from it without any problem. It has a nice flat surface to put the treats on, so makes it really easy to use. So hope that gives you something to work with as you start working your dog a little bit more, and I hope that nose work is helping you in this time of staying inside. Remember, do take your swabs out of these containers, put them back in the jar, seal that jar up real good, because the odor will evaporate over time the longer it is left out. So you do want to seal them back up out of their little tiny containers. I think that's all I know right now. Hope you guys are having fun and staying safe.